We are live.
How's it
Welcome
going?
back to the audience. Episode number 5, MMA with Musty. We're gonna have to change the name of this shit. I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. It's gotta be catchy.
Yeah,
We can't force it.
no. Like right now, it's all centered around me. But
MMA with Musty, like that's good. Like that's catchy. You got like the three M's that fits.
yeah. Like
I don't know what we do with my name. We should do something more like the fighter and the kid. Something more up that alley.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. We
I
gotta.
like that.
It'll come to us. It'll
Yes.
come to us. Then,
Yeah.
but then I just gotta rebrand it.
Yeah. We cannot force these things.
Cannot force these things.
They call me Mystic Mac because predict these things.
You know who else couldn't force anything?
So
Alexei Olenek could not
he
force Derek Lewis to tap.
tried his best though.
Yeah,
All right, should we just get right into it? That fight.
I think we should get into that fight.
Let's get
Yeah,
into it.
and I mean, obviously, in this one, we're going to talk about last night, and then we're going to talk about next weekend because that shit's going to be crazy.
Big weekend. Big weekend.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's start with that. I mean, tell me what you thought was going to happen and what ended up happening.
I mean, I was honestly surprised at how like Derek was able to defend himself on the ground. Like I think everybody was yelling at their TV, thinking the same exact thing. Like, why would you go willfully grappling with Alexei Olenek for no reason? Like, he wasn't really getting off any damage on the ground. He was just kind of chilling there. But so yeah, I thought Derek would probably get like body lock takedown, like like, and he would probably just gas out and not give up that much resistance. But I feel like his size and athleticism just proved to be too much in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because I thought the only reason I was leaning towards him was because I wasn't sure if Olenek would really be able to like counter the massive size and athleticism. And like when Lewis threw him to the ground in the first round, I was
Yeah,
like, damn. I was like, there's a little bit of a like
yeah,
difference between
that was
these two
crazy. That
dudes.
was actually crazy.
Yeah, and I read this thing that I thought was so true. It was like someone said like Derek Lewis is like the type of guy that like people who don't fight like would be like yeah, like you take me down, I'll just stand up like like
That's literally all he does. Like
yeah.
you watch his previous fights, like if he gets like mounted, he literally just like rolls to his stomach and stands up. It's hilarious. Like at most, maybe he'll tripod and try to shake the guy off.
That's as like far of wrestling technique that you're gonna see out of him.
Yeah,
And like the other thing is he's just I, for a guy who like acts like he doesn't like fighting or whatever, man is a like dude, he has the most knockouts in heavyweight history
yeah,
now. And all time he's like in what, third? He's behind Vitor and
yeah,
Anderson.
yeah. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
He's been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah.
It's it's weird because he's still kind of getting better. Like I don't know, like definitely on the ground game. Like he still has a lot of work, but it proves that I don't know. He's the baddest blue belt around.
Yeah, no, like he's no longer an easy fight for I mean, he never was an easy fight for anybody, but
It just
like, we
seemed like
definitely
a
saw.
bad matchup.
Yeah, it was. But we even like in the past, like when he would start standing against the fence because his like back was hurting or whatever, he
Yeah.
seems to be he seems to be in a better spot than he was, but even said that he's still too heavy. Like if he could get down to 240, 250, I think he'd be even more of a problem.
I feel like he's been saying that after like every one of his like last five fights. I gotta lose some weight.
Yeah.
like not many heavyweights are cutting down to 265.
Yeah, no. And I'm pretty sure he plans on losing the weight, but then he's like, eh.
Yeah. He's down there in H Town. No, it's like they got that barbecue and shit. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how much Derek Lewis really cares about this shit when he could just go out there and knock a guy like Alexei Olenek out.
Yeah, exactly. Like he could just get the paycheck, knock a dude out. He doesn't even need to train that hard.
Yeah. Like he's such a freak athlete. Like it's actually crazy how much athleticism he has for his size.
Yeah, he kind of defies like everything
Yeah.
because when you see him throw those kicks, it's like how is a dude this big doing that?
Yeah. Like that fucking hook kick that he threw against that one guy.
Yeah, like what is that?
I feel like he just throws a lot of those as like a meme.
Probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, he came out with that flying knee.
Yeah. Dude, that's literally the same exact thing that happened to Alexei Oleinik against Walt Harris happened with Derek Lewis. It was literally the same exact combo. Like they come out the round with a flying knee, and then come up with this. I think with Walt Harris, who was a straight left, and with Derek Lewis, who was a straight right. But still, it was the same exact combo.
Yeah, it was, and both. I think maybe like Harris's knee, even though it hit him in the chest, I think it might have done a little more damage, but it's still like Oleinik still seemed to not be able to react to the follow up punch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just too slow. Like they both got like that crow up into the knee. Like they already have so much like momentum going forward, and then like I don't know. I like they just got that shut off so much faster than he could even react to it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, for Lewis now, he calls out Curtis Blades and he says, I'm gonna out wrestle this man, which is obviously cap. We all know that he's just like
Yeah.
saying that to be
I
funny.
I honestly don't want to watch that fight. Like that fight isn't gonna be fun to watch at all.
Yeah, I don't think it would be either.
Like,
But
I think Curtis Blades would literally just take him down all 5 rounds, just like he did to that fucking Russian.
that
Like he
probably
doesn't
is what
care.
would
He's
happen.
going in there to get the W.
Yeah, but I mean, what else? Who else could you put Lewis with at this point in time? You could technically give him Ngannou again. That was the worst fight of all
Yeah.
time. It doesn't seem like Ngannou's has
If
any interest in taking another fight. He posted on Instagram today, like, my next fight will be for the belt.
if Ngannou doesn't get a title, like if his next fight isn't the title shot, then that's a travesty.
Yeah,
Like the only way that could happen is if like the only reason he fought Rosenstrike, like he didn't have to fight that guy. Like he was still next in line for the title, but like I feel like the only reason he's even taking these fights and getting these guys out of there like that is because otherwise he would just be sitting on the sidelines.
yeah, and he was on the sidelines he wanted to fight, I remember, and like Rosenstrike called him out, so it kind of made sense. Like no
Yeah,
one's calling Ngannou out, bro.
yeah, yeah. Like nobody wants to
Dude,
fight
I
him.
mean, why would you call Ngannou out? Like,
That's an absolute anomaly right there.
no, he really is, because like even when he fought Curtis Blades, who's like a wrestler, and when he fought Kane, who's a wrestler, like man is so powerful that like I give him the advantage over a wrestler almost.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah,
Like it really makes you think. Like at a certain point, like just like how important is technique?
yeah,
It's
especially a
it's
heavy.
it. Yeah, like when you saw him just he like when they were playing the distance kickboxing game, he ate one leg kick and said, "Fuck this shit, I don't have to do this." Like he literally just ran at him with his chin pointing in the air, just threw fucking bombs.
Yeah, and like, what are your chances of clipping Ngannou versus getting clipped? Like, I don't like the odds for anyone.
The funny thing is, like when he threw that combo, like Chorizo Rosenstrike was clipping him with like each
Yeah,
of each of the hooks that he was throwing, and it
yeah,
just didn't matter. It was like the same, like kind of like soft looking hook that like he knocked out like Arlovsky with. You
yeah,
know what I'm talking
yeah,
about? Like it
yeah,
didn't look like it landed that hard, but it obviously put it put him like the fuck to sleep. And like he landed like literally like two or three of those as Ngannou was running in with his chin up, but it just doesn't matter.
yeah. And it was the last punch of the combination that actually got
Yeah.
Rosenstrike.
He was like the least powerful looking one too.
Yeah,
Like
and
imagine if
bro,
a different one landed.
it like, dude, it devastated him. Like,
The
that was
follow up
like
shot.
that was I was uncomfortable watching that go down.
Yeah, no, like that's one of those fights where you don't even like really react to. Like you just kind of drop your jaw where you're like,
Yeah.
is he okay?
Yeah, I remember you were like you were talking like it was totally valid. You
No,
were
I'm
saying
big
like
on.
Rosenstrike might be able to like put this guy out, and
Yeah,
then you're like, oh my god.
yeah, no,
You're
like
like, I'm so sorry,
I
Francis.
yeah, like I still am big on Rosenstrike
Yeah,
because he's like this decorated kickboxer.
yeah,
Like he has legit striking pedigree, and he has that touch of death too, just like Ngannou. So I was like, if they both have the touch of death, like, does it really matter that Ngannou has that much more power if they both can knock each other out with one shot? But it proved that.
yeah, dude. He's the one guy in the UFC who I think is like, because there's been guys, like what's his name? There's been like Volkan Ozdemir, guys like that. Um, there's been a couple other guys in the light heavyweight division, like the touch of death, but usually a touch of death can only take you so far. But with Ngannou, it really seems like it could take him all the way to the top.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't really have anything else in his game.
Yeah, no. And I mean, the first Stipe fight was bad, but he's definitely a better fighter.
He was so inexperienced in that fight. I remember watching that fight and like erging just cause like Stipe Miocic was literally like posturing up from side control. Like
Yeah,
meaning he literally had zero weight on Ngannou. And Ngannou was like just trying to like punch back when he had no weight on top of him instead of like shrimping out or whatever.
yeah. His only defense seemed to be like exploding up.
Yeah.
And the scariest part was that like he's that strong that like Stipe was kind of having an issue like keeping him down.
Yeah.
Remember he had like his forearm and his neck against the fence, and he was like,
That
go down.
he was like, I just gotta, like, it was so clear his game plan. He was like, I just gotta fucking ride this guy
Yeah,
right now.
his
Like I'm not taking any chances. And like Ngannou just had no technique in that fight whatsoever. And like Miocic was still like, it seemed like Miocic was still having a tougher time than Ngannou in
yeah.
there. Like
His face looked
Miocic,
worse, I'll tell you that.
yeah, like Miocic was like, I just gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Dude, I
get this.
remember I watched that. I was like, it was like he was slaying a beast almost. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I remember watching that being kind of salty because like everybody wanted to see that happen. Like Ngannou, like just become the heavyweight champion like that. He was so, like he was just so terrifying at that point. Like after what he did to Alistair Overeem,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that was different.
I remember I kind of wanted Stipe to win. That was different. But I remember I wanted Stipe to win because like you had Dana White up there, right? Like you got Stipe, who's your like consensus greatest heavyweight champ that you've ever
Yeah,
had in the UFC, and you got Dana White like basically like standing up there telling everyone that Ngannou hits like harder than a truck, and like
yeah,
and then like all the reporters are like asking Stipe about it. Like, what is the man supposed to say? And
yeah.
then like the best, you don't want to piss off Stipe, dude, because I remember after he won that fight, like he immediately turned around and just took the belt from Dana. Like he didn't even let him put it on him.
Yeah. No, like
And
yeah,
he's
that
definitely
that was
feeling that with DC again.
yeah, that happened in the like that was how he was coming back into the second fight.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is my fucking belt. All right, don't make me wait for this shit." All right, but yeah, we'll get into Stipe Miocic DC. That's talk for later. All right, you guys need to wait for that.
Yeah.
But
We'll
but
get there.
Ngannou at that point was just like he's an anomaly now, but like back then we didn't know what he was. Like
Yeah. And the
yeah.
worst was after he lost to Stipe, we didn't know if we'd ever even see him back.
Yeah,
That
and then
Derek
that
Lewis
fight against
fight, it was like he was just he didn't
yeah,
have
it was
it.
like yeah, like I remember thinking like, all right, that's the end of that train.
Yeah.
But now so much better than he ever was. Like I feel like there's really no denying him the fucking title at this point.
I don't think there is. I really don't think so.
Like, does Stipe even want to get in with him at this point again? Honestly, it the
I
only
don't see a point, bro. Especially, dude. If
the,
I think if Stipe wins, he should retire because then he's on top. Well, I
no
mean,
the only way Stipe fights Miocic again is if he loses this fight against DC.
you mean Ngannou? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I agree. All right. I say let's move on the card last night. Let's talk Wyman Okamedov.
Mm.
I'll start with this one. Um, when I saw it, obviously it was like two guys who are good wrestlers, basically trying to put their will on each other, and why I think Weidman just had the superior cardio.
Mhm.
Because he lost the second round, but he came on really strong in the third round, was able to mount him, almost finish him. But
Yeah,
really, like what I saw from Wyman, and he wasn't happy with his performance. It didn't seem like it. It's that, like you said, that was you told me last night, like that was like number 10 of the top 10 in that
yeah,
division, in the middleweight division, and the real problem is like it's looking like on the like that's all Weidman has at this point. Like on the feet, he really doesn't seem to be able to like get
yeah,
out of the way of big shots like very well over the course of like a 3 round fight. And it doesn't seem like he has that much to like threaten anyone with. And then like his so it's really only his wrestling. And his wrestling he even at this point kind of seems to really need to work for. So I think I definitely am on the Weidman is washed train, and I don't think he has any like maybe he could beat one more guy in the top 10, but I don't see him beating anyone in the top 5.
yeah. I see him winning that fight as just like bad news for him. Like, I don't think you're really gonna like. I don't think it gets much better from there for Chris Weidman. It's like when you see him at like in like the interview afterwards and like the post fight press conference, like he just seems like burnt out. Like he just like is. I don't know. It was kind of sad because like there's a guy that like finally won a fight after getting knocked out like 4 times or whatever, and he's still not happy with. So it's like what are you even gonna do from this point? It's like you're not gonna win the title if you move
Yeah.
up anymore. You're just gonna get knocked out again.
I say he joins his boy Corey Anderson in Bellator.
I see that. Bellator, take him. We don't want him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and it works well for both parties. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he'll get a nice little paycheck. He'll be one of the better fighters in the organization.
Yeah,
I mean,
shit.
UFC is just gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ever
yeah, I think you like if you look at the middle. I like Martin Vittori was tweeting shit. He was like, "Wow, like Chris Weidman, you absolutely suck." Like, there, like even
Dude,
guys like that, even young guys in the top 15 could probably honestly give Chris Weidman some issues.
yeah. Like a young hungry guy like that, like they're always a fucking problem for the washed up vets.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's really problematic just knowing that I don't think Wyman doesn't have the ability to really run through anyone. You know, all his fights are going to be either tough fights or wars, and or just him getting finished if it's someone that who's better than him. So yeah, despite the win, you know, I wasn't too impressed. And as far as
Yeah.
Akhmedov goes, I mean, I don't know. Like he he looked like you know he could
Yeah.
probably beat some other guys too.
I don't think he has the skills. Like I watched a couple of his fights before that, and I don't think he's really gonna progress that much further. I think he's like a top 10 to top 15 guy at most. Like he has really good wrestling and he throws overhands, but other than that, like I don't know, he doesn't really seem to have that much of a. I don't know. He's not that versatile. Like he kind of just throws overhands and then gasses out. Like he like he seemed to always just done the same thing. Like
Yeah.
then he loses to Chris Weidman. Like I don't know. Maybe he needs more MMA training, more stand up.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The other fight, it was that the Stewart guy who choked out what's his name? Here, I'll pull the card up. Um, hold on.
Davison Figueiredo. I need to see that guy fight again.
Dude, that's gotta be a good one. Yeah, we had Darren Stewart versus
Dude, we
Maki
gotta talk about
Pitolo.
that shit. Did you write that down?
What?
Cody versus Figueiredo?
Oh no, I didn't even put that down. Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta talk about that shit.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
that
didn't
was
know
against.
much about either of these guys, dude. But I
I
liked what I
remember.
saw out of Darren Stewart. He ate some shots early, but was able to, you know, finished the fight. Looked pretty versatile.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I watched too closely that fight. I
Yeah.
remember looking over and seeing it was over.
Yeah, I thought the craziest storyline was the fact I think you went upstairs when we were watching this. They asked him about the t-shirt. Bro, that
Yeah.
was his it was his friend who his friend's brother murdered him on his birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did his friend's brother murder him?
Like his own brother, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like that the guy who got murdered's friend's brother.
No. The guy who got murdered's brother.
He got murdered by his own brother.
Yeah.
Did he say why?
I think that no, he didn't say why, but like
That's some fucking beef right there.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I took away from that fight.
Yeah.
Rip that guy. Yeah, but now next time I see Darren Stewart, I'll pay more attention. Then all right, we got fight of the night right
Was
here,
that
huh?
Yeah, that was a guillotine though?
Yeah.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, I was
What
gonna
happened?
move on to the fight of the night.
I remember like did he like drop him and then the guy shot in and he finished it or what happened?
I don't think he dropped him. I don't.
I remember the guy like shooting in from the cage
Hmm.
and him finishing him or some shit like that. Anyway,
Yeah, I remember like he had it like this, like
yeah. All right. Let's not talk about shit we don't know shit about.
yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm not there.
What I do know,
We,
what I do
we gotta
know,
get in, we gotta get into this absolute barn burner up
yeah,
next.
what I
The
do know
women,
is that Yana Kuniskaya versus Julija Stoliarenko. Listen, that fight ruined my entire night. I had the parlay. It was going strong. We had Dirty Bird Means with the win. We had Mini Kelvin Gastelum with the win. We had Dariush with the win. And looking back at it, the next two guys on that parlay were Weidman and Lewis. So that shit was hitting, bro. And then we get to the women's bantamweight division, and I mean, listen,
that was your mistake, bro. You can't throw on a woman's bantamweight fight
right,
like you
right,
know how that's gonna go down.
right. But there is a bigger picture to talk
That,
about here.
that
With
was your
these,
first mistake, brother.
you are right, especially on a chick who's coming from Invicta, like.
Dude, she didn't even have a fight in the UFC
I
yet.
know, but bro, I was watching this Yana chick's fights, and I was like, literally, the only thing she can do is hold girls against the fence. Like bro, that's her whole game, and it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting that could be your whole game, and that you could be like a girl who gets a title shot in the UFC's women's bantamweight division. Because let's be honest, besides 115. 125, 135, 145, there's not even rankings for 125 and 135. It's literally like a
It's not
girl who knows how to fight at the top, and then a
yeah,
bunch of girls who are still learning how to fight,
literally.
fighting each other.
Like people don't like to admit it. Like this fucking shit. How Amanda Nunes is ranked higher than John Jones on UFC 4. Like people don't want to admit it, but like women's MMA isn't on the same level as men's MMA yet. Like it started after men's MMA. Like I'm not saying that like women can't be like obviously you look at like Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko, like they're like one of the greatest mixed martial artists on the planet, but it's
Yeah,
like
there's your proof right there. Yeah,
that the sport is still so new
yeah,
in terms of just women doing it. It's like the same thing as like someone like Anderson Silva or like Ronda Rousey busting through to the top. Nobody can compete with them. Then you have to wait until the rest of the game rises up to their level, and then someone beats them.
yeah. Exactly. And you're starting to see it at 115. You got like a few legit
Yeah,
mixed
no,
martial artists.
one fifteen. Like yeah, like you actually look forward to the fights in
Yeah,
that division.
but like I'm sorry, like when Jessica I is the number one contender, like and you watch someone like Jessica I fight, you're right. Like that shows you all you need to know about just the skill level that some of these women are at. And part of it, I mean, part of it is the fact that like the UFC saw obviously a marketing opportunity with the women's division. So they went ahead and made 4 of them. One of them they made just for Cyborg, who isn't even in the UFC anymore.
And
So it's like I'm not even blaming the women. I'm blaming where the sport is at. The UFC's choice to make 115, make 125, and make 135. If it was up to me, I would have the 115 division. I would erase the entire 125, 135, 145 pound division. And I would just have Valentina and Nunes fight each other every time.
I mean, you might as well, right? It actually pisses me off so much that people literally aren't even talking about that fight like it's a possibility. Like,
yeah, what?
The only, like, that's literally the only fight that exists above 115 pounds. Like, come on. That's the only fight that exists above 115.
And
Like,
your proof for it is that the closest fight Valentina has had is against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who has no business fighting at 125.
Exactly. Like that really irks me. Like 135, like the last fight that Shevchenko and Nunes had, like most people thought that Shevchenko won that shit. I feel like.
I mean, because I haven't watched the fight in a long time, but I remember like there were not many strikes thrown in that fight.
Yeah, it was definitely on the more boring side. Yeah. But I remember Shevchenko was like the active one, and Amanda probably had like the bigger moments. But I remember that being a controversial decision.
Dude, it wasn't a dominant performance. Like,
oh
yeah,
and she dominated everybody else. Like, I don't see why you don't like Shevchenko. Like, you could have given that fight to her. You could have easily given that fight to her.
Yeah, now they're giving her that Miocic, who, like, no offense to her, what does she bring to the table? A nice little armbar that she just hit,
like remember what happened to that bitch, like Pena or whatever her name is. She was like this jiu-jitsu specialist coming in to fight Shevchenko, and then she got fucking armbarred. It's like like women are on different levels. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like, still better than you.
I mean, that's just that's the honest state of women's MMA right now.
Yeah,
it's nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah. Nothing to, like, I'm not trying to scoff at it, but that's just what it is, and we shouldn't act like it's different.
Hopefully we don't get taken down for saying this,
Yeah. They can't cancel us yet, bro.
They can't cancel us yet, yeah.
They'll come back to this episode, though.
We're independent.
Yeah. They'll come back. They'll come back to this episode in a couple of years.
But we won't care. We'll stick by our statement.
Exactly.
We will never sell out viewers.
Unless if they give us 100 million to move to Spotify.
Yeah, let's be honest. If anyone gets offered 100 million, I'll say whatever you want me to say. But right now, viewers, I'm talking to you guys, and for nobody else. I'm doing this out of the joy of my heart. I do this because I like to.
That's it.
I love how it's just fun acting like there's people listening to this. But yeah. If anybody is listening,
dude, bro, shout out where is it? I believe it's San Jose, California. I think we have 30 downloads from San Jose, California.
Really?
I don't know what's in the water in San Jose, but
it's an MMA hotspot.
Yeah. So shout out to the Cali listeners.
Yeah. Or anybody listening at all. Like,
yeah. Dude, we have a couple international downloads. We got
really?
Croatia. We got Croatia. We got the UK, and we got like Hungary. So
bro, that's absolutely insane. Like, I know they probably only listen to like 5 minutes, but like to think that anybody at all would like.
We're worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about it. If we do this for like 5 years, like, I mean, we could do this shit through college easily. Like this is just gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like a real job, then it might become more of a chore. But like, this is just fun right now. And like, if we do it for a long time, like, you're gonna.
Then we won't need a real job.
Yeah. That'd be funny as shit. We go to college, spend all this money, and then by the time we're done with college, like, we don't need our degrees anymore.
Bro, I would be mad, honestly.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to be mad in that situation. Anyway, let's get back into the fucking anime.
Yeah. We'll go with Neil Dariush, and then we'll move on.
I have no doubt in my mind that that guy is just an absolute fucking savage. Like the last, like I've only seen that guy fight twice, and it was the last fight, his last fight, and this fight, and
Yeah.
both times had you fucking like out of your seat, like yelling at the TV. Like this
Yeah.
guy's crazy, and
Yeah. And those.
he's
Yeah.
got that little like touch of gray, like he looks like some sort of like James Bond villain or some shit.
Bro, those last two guys, they're not slouches either. You
Yeah,
got it was an undefeated guy in Draker Close. He was undefeated. And then Holtzman wasn't undefeated, but he was I think he'd won 5 out of his last 6 or 6 out of his last 7, and he had never been finished. And he literally got like he was totally outmatched on the feet where like Darius I believe that Darius's like strongest attribute is his ground game and his submission game. But
really.
on the feet, he's not a slouch either. I mean, once he landed that knee, I thought I don't think the fight was the same after that. But he just kept improving on it, and then he landed that spinning forearm that was absolutely nasty.
That was ridiculous. He set that up so beautifully. Like the timing on that shit.
Yeah, yeah. So is he ranked? I believe he's ranked.
What division does he even fight in?
That's
Lightweight?
lightweight. Yeah, that's
Mm,
lightweight.
tough. But all right.
Here, let's just pull this up because I know I would be interested. So he's beaten Drew Dober, who's now hot though, right?
Did he really?
Yeah, dude. There's some. I love the lightweight division because like these guys, like you got some savages here. Like you could pair anyone up with Makachev. You pair anyone in the top 15 up with that guy, and like I would love to watch it.
I need to see Islam fucking fight again. That guy's a fucking savage.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just waiting until Habib retires to actually try.
Probably. Yeah, and I don't know who's booked exactly in this division, but throw Dariush against anyone like from like 7 to like 15, that's another like great fight, I would assume.
Yeah. Conor McGregor, number 4. What a beast.
Too funny, dude.
Yeah. All right. I'd like to talk about Kevin Holland because
Oh yeah, I
I'm
forgot about him.
so impressed by that guy.
Forgot about him. Yeah, I mean, all I knew going into that fight, I knew who Kevin Holland was. I knew he was pretty nice. I knew he was long, and I knew
Yeah.
that he was a minus 550 favorite. And then we saw the dude that they put him in there with. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second.
Yeah, we saw like they pulled up his highlight reel from like non-UFC organization, and this guy just looks like a fucking absolute gorilla. Like there's no other way to describe it. Like his pecs took up probably half of his torso, and then his arms like went down to his knees.
Yeah,
Like,
he that guy was a specimen. He was a
yeah,
specimen, and he was also like, it's not like he gassed out after the first round either. He was there the whole fight. He was throwing bombs the whole fight, and
he definitely started to slow down. I think. Like I don't know. I feel like he was just kind of outmatched on the feet. Like he never
yeah,
really got anything off besides maybe a couple crotch shots. Like
yeah, it was, but like for Kevin Holland to just go in there against a guy like that and be like so
yeah,
comfortable shows you like where he's at.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like that was so impressive. Like he just handled like he handled it perfectly. Like the way like just the confidence. He was slipping out of range. Like you gotta have such confidence. You gotta know what you're doing. Like have an actual cinder block being like fucking thrown at your face like that, and he just like doesn't even bother looking at it. Like remember how he was slipping those punches? Like he was literally just like turning his body to the side and like looking away. It was so disrespectful.
yeah. But I was getting worried for him when he was trying to throw them like spinning side kicks
Yeah.
because he was totally turning his back, and then you saw was his name Buckley? Yeah, I think it was Buckley, right?
I don't know.
He yeah, but that we'll just call him that guy. That,
Yeah, it's
that
Buckley.
big man. Was it
Yo
James
Quinn,
Buckley?
Yo Quinn Buckley.
Oh, Quinn Buckley. Yeah, and like
Fuck.
he was turning his head to him, and Buckley was throwing bombs that were coming a little close. But you
Yeah,
see,
dude.
I mean, clearly had
Like,
it under control. And bro,
yeah,
the knockout was mean too.
I'd like you should pull that shit up right now because that was he set that shit up. Like
Yeah, and
if you
he
watch
landed
it
it.
close,
That was the second time he landed it. Am I right?
yeah, he landed in the first round. It was kind of in the first round. I think he just threw it as like just like a long right like that. Like he didn't really set it up. But in the second round, you see exactly how he did it. Like he threw a jab,
Mm-hmm.
and Buckley like went to like dip to that side or whatever, and then he did
Oh
the same
yeah.
thing. Like watch, he throws a jab, and Buckley gives him a reaction, and then he kind of just flicks out the same exact jab
Ooh.
to put his like he puts his face in the same exact position that it was from the previous jab. So that's how he lined up that too. You know what I mean?
Ooh. Yeah. Let me put it in slow mo.
You could see it. Like he throws the first jab, and then when he throws the second jab, like he reacts to it the same exact way, so he knows where he's gonna be.
Dude, that's not his
And it was
mouthpiece.
so nice.
Wow.
He caught him on the roll. He caught him on the
Oh yeah, so
because
right there, I mean,
when you when
I see him
yeah,
flipping his head
show
to
the
the right.
first.
This is where the video begins.
All right, maybe find a different one
Yeah,
because I thought it was really cool. How, like the first jab, he reacts to it literally the same exact way as that kind of feeler jab he throws out to set up the two.
yeah, and I mean that's part of the problem was like you got a guy like Buckley who very big, but he clearly wasn't as fluid in there on his feet, and
Yeah,
that caught like that little like head movement stuff he was doing is what ended up getting him knocked out.
yeah.
Because yeah, I'm Holland was having no issues really reading what was coming his way. I mean, that's not, dude. That's nasty right there. He got some height on that knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good fight all around.
It was a really good fight because it's like you don't know what's gonna happen in those. Like, is the technician gonna like? It's gonna be a good fight either way. Like, either the technician's
Yeah,
gonna take the stool, or the technician's gonna get knocked the fuck out.
crazy sport, dude.
Yeah, he caught him so clean though, because like it was like on the roll when he started to come back the other way.
Yeah, and this is what
That's
I'm
the
talking
best
about
shit.
here. I know some people are listening, but Holland would throw this side kick, and Buckley would kind of get out of the way of it.
It's literally like a hook kick to the body.
Yeah, and there he did it a few times, and each time he like left himself totally exposed. All right, they're not showing that.
They're not showing the jab. That's annoying. That pisses
I
me
mean,
off.
let's
But
see in the replay if they show it.
like he
But
caught
yeah,
him
he
on
was seriously.
like he was like you could see it on his face like he was trying
Yeah,
to figure out like he couldn't control all the muscles in his face yet.
yeah. I mean, yeah. He lined that up perfectly, and bro, that's a long like 80-inch arm
Yeah,
coming all the
caught
way
him
through
right
your
on the,
chin.
he caught him right on the end of it too. Like that's the best. Like that's how like Amanda Nunes lands like right at the end of her shots. Like it's so
Yeah, I mean that's how all the elite strikers seem to land their
yeah,
punches.
like it was real. Yeah, like that's such a beautiful KO. The way he catches the chin on the roll, because that's like force meeting force. Because it's like people will be able to absorb like really hard shots, but that's because like the people know how to roll with it, right? Like
Yeah,
they'll
exactly.
like move in the same direction as the punch, so it doesn't really land with as much force as compared to like when your chin's going in the opposite direction at the
Yeah,
punches.
yeah. He moved him into the punch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thought he was safe. Clearly
Yeah.
wasn't safe.
Yeah, I think he was fatigued at that point. Like his defense just wasn't as good, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
All
good
right.
job of wearing him out. That dude Nasrat, he looked so good. That was
Oh,
really
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when a guy comes off a knockout loss, it's like, is he gonna come out the same? And I mean, I saw from him what I had been seeing from him before he took that loss, which is just like really good on the feet. He was making good reads the whole night,
Yeah.
coming with the uppercut, coming in with the hooks. Wasn't able to get that Mister like come here, come here, come here.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to get him out of there.
Man got hit with about 20 hard shots, and every time he said, "Come here," after, like while he was still on mics.
Yeah.
It's like, show some respect, dude.
Dude, I mean, you wanna continue, or are we? Is it time to? Do you want to get into next weekend?
Sure. Uh, could I take a piss real fast?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, little pee break there, but we're
Yeah.
back in it, and obviously, we need to come fully prepared for the preview of the main event next weekend, the
Big.
trilogy fight
Doesn't
between.
get much bigger.
It literally doesn't get much bigger.
Yeah.
We're
This is
talking heavyweight.
yeah. This is the baddest man on the planet. The trilogy fight.
Yeah, and I mean, you just know when you got a guy like DC in there, and you got a guy like Stipe in there, and they're 1-1 with each other. They're coming into this third fight like possessed. They're both
Yeah.
coming into this.
Both of them.
I don't think either of them think they're losing this fight. So
Yeah.
something's got to give.
It's nerve wracking, really, because I have no idea who's gonna win, honestly. Like, at first, when the third fight got announced, I mean, it was obvious who was gonna happen, but like I felt like DC kind of just had him, would have him outmatched in the third fight, because I felt like he definitely underestimated him in the second fight, like his durability. Like, DC he gassed out kind of hard, but yeah, I feel like what was I saying? Like, yeah, I feel like DC's like, at first I felt like DC was like underestimated him in the second fight. So in the third fight, like, he was kind of dominating that second fight for a lot of it. I mean, I wouldn't say dominating, but like he was doing exactly what he wanted. Like, Stipe was playing into his game plan for most of that second fight. So I felt like he was kind of just the better fighter. But now the more that I think about it, and the more that I think about how DC was fighting him, like, and how like kind of not smart Stipe was fighting back, like kind of just playing into DC's game plan. Like, Stipe found a chink in DC's armor, right? When he's reaching
Mhm.
his hands out like that, like DC just pressures you, and then he tries to grab your hands or whatever. Like, he reaches out, and that leaves it like that leaves openings for like those knees and like those uppercuts, like left hooks to the body. So I think just this third fight is really interesting because both of them have a lot better picture of the other skill sets going in. Like, I feel like Stipe underestimated DC's power going into the first fight, and then DC underestimated Stipe's durability in the second. And then this third fight, we're gonna see who's really the better fighter.
And yeah, I agree. And when I look at it, I mean, not to say the first fight was a fluke or anything, but I don't think at this point, I don't think you could take much from the first fight. I think you really got to look at the second fight if you want to get an idea of how this one's going to go. Because I don't think Stipe is going away easily. I don't think DC is going away easily. Obviously, like that could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I look at the second fight. Stipe was definitely eating the shots better in the second fight, and you're right. Like DC is very good at forcing you to kind of play his game because you almost think you're safe. I feel like if you're Stipe, because like when you get in those dirty boxing exchanges with Cormier, like that like he leaves himself open too. Like, and what I saw that Stipe was kind of doing was what he would kind of stand in front of DC, just kind of trying to like, I guess, find a punch to land, and then Cormier would be able to just get off like a 1-2 right to the face, and and
Just like
Stipe would kind of eat it pretty quick. And the other thing is, when I watched that, like when Stipe was fighting his own fight, like when they were boxing, like Cormier should not want to box with Stipe. Stipe throws hard punches, he throws combos, and besides the first round, like the second and the third round, I feel like Cormier won them based on output, but like they were both taking turns punching like each other in the face, and I think like DC kind of got comfortable playing that game, and he didn't realize who he was in there kind of doing it with. And once Stipe wasn't like, if Stipe is not going to go away, you don't want to give him 5 rounds to catch you with the shot. And obviously now he knows that he has the body shots in his arsenal, so Cormier definitely has to make adjustments.
yeah, I feel like it was pretty crazy. Like I was like screaming at my TV during the fight. Like when DC literally he literally would just put his hands down and start walking towards Stipe when he was like 5 feet away from him.
Yeah.
It's like he just had complete disdain for the power of this guy that had just knocked out everybody, you know, like like the most decorated UFC champion ever. Like that was just crazy to me. So I don't know. I think there's just no way that he does that again. He's gonna be a lot more careful, and he's probably
Yeah.
gonna try to wrestle a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I think DC's like, I think it's easy to say, like the adjustment that DC needs to make is show him some more respect on the feet, and obviously incorporate the wrestling each round of the fight.
Yeah,
And would you agree, like the main adjustment we're gonna see from Cormier is number one, if Stipe starts trying to go to the body, I think we're gonna see Cormier try to pull out some counters that he's been working on. But other than that, I think it's really gonna be working the wrestling into the striking. What I want to know is like for Stipe, you know, where does Stipe go into this fight? Because obviously, while he won the last fight, the success really came in like the fourth round.
yeah. I think that I'm honestly like I'm just curious as to how DC's strategy is going to change because like I feel like he's the one that has to make the bigger adjustment because it's like he was winning most of that fight, that second fight, with because he was implementing that strategy of just walking towards him and like trying to grab his hands and just play that like dirty boxing game where he knows he's a lot quicker than Stipe and he can just get off his punches faster or whatever, even though he might get hit a few times. But like, I'm just curious as to see if he's going to try to do the same thing because that's what left him open to those body shots. So it's like, is he not going to do that? Is he not?
Yeah.
Is he going to stop like reaching for his hands, uh, so that he can't land body shots? And if he does, like, how is that going to affect his ability to land punches on Stipe's head? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking because like that's how Cormier has fought his entire career
Yeah,
on the feet. Like that's how he gets his success. So I'm thinking his adjustment on the feet will probably be addressing the body shots, not changing the way he fights, but knowing that Stipe might try to go to the body, and then
yeah,
looking for openings based on that, just because he was talking like that. And I don't think it makes I think it's a bad idea for Cormier to not like go at him, because
yeah,
that's where he does have his success. But for Stipe, I'm thinking like once Stipe kind of started sticking and moving more with those body shots, that's when he started. Obviously, Cormier was tired, but I'm looking for Stipe to come out and stick and move from like the moment the fight starts
yeah.
to the end of the fight, instead of getting drawn into the dirty boxing exchanges.
Yeah, that's Stipe's way to victory. Like he would do a good job of like staying on the outside and keeping like his distance, his range that where he has the advantage. But he would only do it for like 30 seconds. Like in the second fight, like he started out like playing that range game with that really wide stance, you know. But then DC just leg kicked the fuck out of him like 3 times, and he was like, "All right, I can't stand wide like
Yeah,
that anymore." And then he kind of just stood still and let DC come to him. And then I feel like Stipe's ego played a big part in both the fights, especially the first one where like this like light heavyweight was coming up to challenge him, and like you know how Stipe gets like disrespect. Like everybody
Yeah, yeah,
wanted DC to win that fight. Like he was like I don't know, this like smaller guy trying to come in and take his belt. Like he would like get hit with shots and then like I feel like that played a big part in why he was engaging in that game with DC was just because he was letting his ego get the best of him. Like he would get hit with a shot and be like fuck this, like that shouldn't happen. I'm gonna go hit you back.
yeah. And I mean, I do. That is part of it because I was trying to think like why he was willing to do that. We had some minor technical difficulties there. Um, we are talking we were talking about how Stipe was kind of playing Cormier's game, and I was just saying, Stipe sees an opportunity to maybe land a big right hand in those exchanges, but what ended up happening was like for every one punch Stipe was landing, he was kind of getting hit with maybe 4 punches, and that's
Yeah.
not good. That's not good for him on the scorecards, and that's not good with him. Just not good for him in the risking getting hurt like that.
Yeah, I feel like DC just like he's just a lot quicker, you know.
Yeah,
Can't stand like if he stands in the pocket like that, he has a big disadvantage.
yeah, I agree. And then all right, so obviously the other the other factor is going to be the wrestling. We saw Cormier take Stipe down in round one. What I got from that is because I think for Cormier to like have success with the takedowns, he's gonna have to mix it in with the strikes. I think that's how he's gonna get in on him. I don't think it's gonna be a sort of drag him on the because if he holds him up against the cage, I think Stipe's big and strong enough to kind of defend the takedowns. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's no way DC is just gonna force his wrestling game upon it. Like
Yeah,
DC is probably just gonna time like one or two shots every round that are mixed in well with the striking, you know?
yeah, yeah. I agree. So that I mean that's that right there. Like they're gonna be striking. Like don't get mistaken, right? I mean they're
Yeah.
gonna be exchanging on the feet.
DC's definitely not just gonna try to wrestle fuck him the whole
Yeah.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Stipe showed an ability to, scramble up to his feet. Not he didn't like DC pass his guard or anything. So I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think Cormier is gonna be able to take him down and just win the fight.
Yeah. Honestly, I see both guys like using wrestling to their advantage. Like
Yeah,
Cormier more so to like win rounds and Stipe to kind of just like tire him out
yeah.
and
I mean,
make him.
I think Stipe had a takedown in that fight
Yeah,
too.
that's exactly what happened. Like
Yeah,
DC, that's exactly what he did to like it, gas him out. Like it was clear that DC started to slow down. I think he was just trying to make him work.
yeah. And I mean, DC said that for that fight, he kind of his focus was making it to the fight, and this time he said he kind of went old school at the training camp. Said like if I don't make it to the fight, I'm fine with that. I'd rather be there like in my best shape. And he's the type of guy when he says something like that, I believe it. I believe that he probably is in better shape. He looks like he's actually more slim for this one too.
Yeah, he lost weight.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, across the board, this shit's like
Just really don't know how it's gonna go
yeah
down.
yeah. Like there's a reason that Vegas has this fight at like -110 for each guy.
It's literally completely even odds. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, my guess would be it'll shift towards DC this week, but not by much.
Yeah, maybe.
The one other thing I want to talk about is I'm kind of outraged. You got the biggest heavyweight fight in the history of the UFC, and you're having it in the non-regulation size cage, bro. Like,
Yeah,
dude, listen. Imagine if they had the Super Bowl on like an 80-yard field, or like if they had like the NBA Finals, but like the rim was like 9 feet tall. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know how you could have this fight in anything other than like the regulation size cage.
yeah. I mean, I definitely see that. It's definitely weird, but I also see the other side of the argument where it's like it's a fight. Like like you have to deal with the circumstances. Like
Yeah,
like like it's not like if it's just like random and like sometimes you're gonna fight in a small cage and sometimes you're gonna fight in a bigger cage, like it's always gonna favor somebody. So it's like you just gotta fight, you know. But it's like it's definitely weird how they're gonna change. Like they're like changing it up now. I don't know. Maybe like I'm kind of on board for the smaller cage because it does, especially in the lower like level fights, like the prelims, like it just makes the fights more exciting. Like Like definitely more CTE is going to be in the sport, but like I remember when they first started doing fights in the small cage, like the actual UFC events, and it just seemed like it was such a big difference in the performances put
Yeah.
out.
No, and I'm cool with putting the prelim fighters in the small cage.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, no,
I
I
just
still
think
think
that you're right. Like only the UFC could get away with this because they're fighters, and fighters just don't care. And that's like across the board with these guys. Like I think part of the only reason the UFC is running right now the way it is because fighters are fighters. Their mentality is like they're
yeah,
just some hard people in general.
yeah. It's like
But
they do this.
I stand by that. Like in a championship fight, it should be you should have a regulation size cage, and that should be what they should be fighting in. It should be the same as the first two times. And I do think in a way the smaller cage is going to favor Cormier.
It does for
He's the
sure.
he's the pressure fighter. He's the pressure fighter, and he's the guy who's probably going to try to use his wrestling more.
That's exactly what it comes down to. It's like whoever wants to be moving forward, they're going to be benefited by the small cage, and whoever wants to keep that distance, they're going to be they're going to be benefited by the bigger cage because like
Yeah,
more distance, you can have more room to work.
and I'll be honest. I'm not complaining about the small cage for Adesanya Costa.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I have no complaint. I have no
it's
complaint there.
like it's very subjective, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And Stipe said like that's the training. His gym cage is the small size cage as well.
Yeah,
I know like Cormier has Luke Rockhold there. He has Kane there. He has Corey Anderson there.
yeah.
I Who knows what Stipe's doing out here? Like Stipe's probably just bringing in some like Ohio dudes to help him train for this one.
He was literally bitching how he couldn't train, like while other guys in Ohio had fight.
That was
Like,
that was Stipe trying to like
yeah,
get it back.
he was just mad. He was like he was trying to like every like now I get the attention. Like,
Yeah, and then the UFC was like, no, it doesn't work like that with you.
yeah, it's like, wow, you're a firefighter like that.
It sounds cliche, but there's so much on the line for both of them. Like Stipe, if he wins, he's the best heavyweight ever. If that, I mean, maybe we could talk about that. Like, does this fight decide the best heavyweight ever? Because I'm under the assumption, I'm saying that's like I'm not even gonna get into Fedor right now, but I'm I'm so impressed with Stipe that I think even if he loses this fight, I think if Stipe loses this fight, he might still be the greatest heavyweight we've ever seen in terms of the numbers that he had. But I think what it would do for Cormier is like for him to win this trilogy, I would be comfortable with maybe putting Cormier at like top 5 all time, like period.
I mean, I think Cormier is probably. I mean, I feel like he's probably top five all time already. Honestly, I think I think skill wise, whoever wins this fight is the best heavyweight of all time.
Hmm.
Even though DC doesn't have the same numbers as Stipe, like if he beats Stipe twice, like how are you gonna argue that Stipe is better than him?
Yeah. Yeah, but it is big for Cormier because like if he loses this one, now
Yeah,
like your two biggest rivals, you
yeah,
lost twice to.
exactly. Like you're not really gonna be considered that. Like he's always like he's always in like I feel like his whole career he's always been like number two. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, no, it's big because I get the greats win these fights.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like John Jones pulled that shit out. Like he was never like he like DC definitely looked like he was winning for a second there, but like DC was never gonna win that fight. Like it could have happened 1,000 times that night, and like I don't know,
Yeah,
John Jones just finds a way to win. Like that's why he's the goat. Like people like that. Like
yeah,
I
definitely. And I mean, for Stipe losing, it would just be rough because he already,
yeah,
he already, I feel like they don't talk about Stipe like they talk about DC. That's just the way it is. Um, So for Stipe to lose this one, it's kind of like it puts his whole legacy sort of more in question. But if he wins, it's kind of more solidified.
Yeah.
So high stakes, bro.
Yeah, this is literally like the end all be all. Like they're not running this shit back again. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah. Like this is a UFC promo I could get behind. This isn't like some Figueredo Benavidez type like little like oh like no. This is a
But
competitive fight, and there's a lot on the table.
yeah, they're like media doesn't have to do shit for this fight. Like you know what you're
Yeah,
gonna get.
100%.
Should
All
we
right,
talk about O'Malley, or we ran out of time?
I think we ran out of time.
All right, I think we definitely been doing this for an hour.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about O'Malley last week a little bit.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. Um.
Maybe
Yeah.
some.
All right, guys. Yeah, that'll do it for this one. That was a fun one. Last night was fun. Next weekend's gonna be even more fun. Jake
Yeah,
Heath back in Miami next weekend.
yeah, it's gonna be a little bit different setting. Might be a little bit sunnier. Might be a little bit tanner.
The biggest disappointment is I have to watch that fight alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be with. Hopefully, Jake Roll isn't listening right now, but I'm gonna have to watch it with two normies of the game. I'm kidding, Jake Grillo. Bitch.
Yeah. So if you made it to the end, thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy if you did.
Yeah, if you made it to the end, that's crazy.
You really don't have to.
Definitely reach out to us if you made it to the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll be next week. Will be even next week we'll get to talk about the aftermath.
I don't even want to think about it. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna definitely have some nerves during the fight next weekend. I might be sad after it, depending on the result.
I'm not gonna lie. If DC loses, I'm gonna be upset for a week. Like I'm gonna be I'm not gonna cry. Like I'm not gonna be depressed, but like I'm just not gonna be in a good mood for at least a week.
Yeah, yeah, and dude, I'm at a point where I'm like gonna be sad if either of them loses, which is gonna happen.
Like I don't know why, but I just don't like. I was a big fan of Stipe at the beginning of his reign. Like when he beat JDS, I was like, holy shit, this is the baddest man to ever exist. But like, I don't know. I get it's definitely because of how the UFC promotes him. It's basically just not doing it at all.
Yeah,
And like the fact that he's fighting DC, like I'm
yeah,
gonna root against him.
and that's kind of why, in a way, I want to see him win.
Yeah, because he has taken a lot of disrespect for the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time.
Yeah, but either way, it's gonna be great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so that'll do it. Peace out, everyone. Stay looking for some videos, some predictions this weekend. We got UFC 4 coming out August 14th. Also, yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Hopefully the rents leave us with a nice gift card so we can buy that shit without going into our own pocket.
Agreed.
We'll see.
We will see. All right, yo.
It was
Peace
a
out,
good time.
everybody.
Thank you, Musty. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you, sir.
Oos.
Oos.